What's going on, you guys? Welcome back to another Screw Toy action figure review. And today we'll be looking at the Marvel Legends Spider-Man No Way Home Armadillo Build-A-Figure Wave Miles Morales from his video game, as it is a Gamerverse figure. But honestly, you can honestly fit this Miles Morales into your 616 display, as it is very, very similar to his comic book counterpart. So I'm very, very excited about this figure. Spoiler alert. I can already tell I'm going to love this figure. As you can see, my Spider-Man bias is showing a little bit. But enough of me chattering on. Let's get a closer look at the packaging, and then we'll get a closer look at the figure itself. Getting a quick look at the packaging. It is your standard Marvel Legends packaging. You get Gamerverse for the Gamerverse Miles Morales. You get the name of the video game with his name down here, Miles Morales. On the top, you get a logo from the video game right there. On the side, you get a picture of Miles Morales from the video game. On the back, another picture of Miles Morales from the video game. A read up on Miles Morales right there. So you want to pause that and read that now. You can do so right there. You get the rest of the wave down here. Armadillo, which is the Build-A-Figure, and the numbers that correspond with the figures that come with the Build-A-Figure piece. On the bottom, a whole bunch of bullshit, but you do get the barcode right there. So if you need it, you can stop, pause, and take a screenshot if you need to. On the other side, same picture, just inverted, and not much more, man. Enough about this packaging. Let's get a closer look at Miles Morales himself. Now, getting a quick look at all the accessories that Miles does come with. He actually does come with quite a few things. So first off, straight out of the package, he does come with these whip hands. They look really, really nice. He comes with a pair of fists, a pair of wall crawling hands, and so just that y'all don't think that I'm, cheating on my balancing skills. Here is the rest of the body. And he does come with these very nice yellow translucent, like almost electric effect, but they're his poison or venomous sting touch that, he electrocutes people with. And they look really good, man. This is very, very nicely executed. As you can see, the electricity kind of runs back into his forearm. And it just looks really dope, man. This is a great accessory that they didn't have to include, but they did. And yeah, it just makes this figure that much better, man. Really glad that they included these accessories, and again, they killed it. And he also does come with an unmasked head, and this is probably my least favorite accessory, as I don't think the likeness is 100% down, man. I don't really think he looks like what he looked like in the video game. The hair is very nicely sculpted, but you can see some brown wash in there. But it's very hard to see through the viewfinder and through the camera, but it's very, very splotchy where the brown is. Again, very, very hard to see through the camera, but there is brown, and it's just kind of splattered throughout the hair, and it just kind of looks odd. And mine is missing a little bit of paint right there. And yeah, just looks a little off in my opinion. Yeah, not a big fan of this head sculpt, but it is going to go in the fodder box and probably never see the light of day again. And here is Miles Morales up close and personal. And just straight up, man, this is most likely going to be my favorite figure of the wave. He just looks really, really, really nice, man. A lot of good things about this figure. Very, very minor complaints. So let's get a closer look here at the figure itself. It is just mostly black throughout the whole body. But where it is mostly just flat black, there is a lot of very, very nicely textured pieces. Like right there, it is very nicely textured to really help break up that, flat black plastic. You can see all these little nice seam lines on the legs right there, on the knees, above the knees right there, on the inside of the thigh, more seam lines. And it really, really helps this figure, just pop that much more. And it is different sheens of plastic. As you can see, this is a lot more matte, as where the seam lines right there are a lot more glossy. And yeah, man, just looks really, really nice. Moving upwards on the figure, this is where the figure really, really shines. You can see that it is mostly red and black, or it is all red and black with those white eyes. And yeah, again, everything is here that is on this body is sculpted and painted very, very nicely. The deco and the paint is very nice and crisp. No real bleeding through on any parts. The only thing that I'm not a big fan of is when you crunch this figure forward, it breaks up the sculpt of the spider. So I wish they would have continued that on. But, for the most part, you're not going to really be seeing them from the back. But Yeah, man, it's just a great figure overall. No real big complaints. Uh, yeah, very simple, straightforward, design, and I feel like it's very, very well translated into plastic form. Again, there's just a very simple figure that I don't know, man. I love this figure. Maybe it's because I've been waiting for a Miles figure for a very, very long time. As the last Miles figure that we did get was the Ultimate Miles. That was a smaller teenage buck, and I believe that was from the what wave was that from? Man, I can't remember from the top of my head, but yeah, that figure was from a very, very long time ago, and it wasn't that great, to be honest with you. So it is nice to get a brand new buck. This is a brand new buck. Let me move my camera up just a little bit. Yes, this figure right here is all 100% brand new. Uh, Everything about this figure is unique to this figure. It was sculpted just for this figure. So very, very good looking figure, man. Pinless elbows, pinless knees, and I don't know what else to say, man. It's a great figure. Again, there goes my Spider-Man bias on this figure. I'm just a sucker for Spider-Man figures, but this one is just very, very nicely executed. And I think a lot of it has to do with the proportions. The proportions look really, really, really good. The head to the body is very nice. It's a slim, younger Miles Morales. As you know, he's not an adult or anything. I believe he's a teenager in the video game. And yeah, man, very nice looking figure. Not much more I can really say. All the hands do have these like knuckle plated things right here on the gloves. Again, it is on all the hands right there. And again, this is a Gamerverse Miles Morales from the video game, the PS4 video game, but he can easily fit into your 616 display, as he is going to go on my 616 display. Unfortunately, I don't have the other PS4 Spider-Man to really compare with this one, but that other Spider-Man sucked, man. He was, a lot of reuse. I believe he was on the Sunfire body mode, and he had the Spider-Man UK head sculpt, and it just looked awful. It just looked awful. But again, this is 100% brand new sculpt, so a lot to look forward to on this figure. Now, getting a quick look at his articulation, it is pretty good. His head is on a dumbbell joint, so he can look up quite a bit up actually for being a dumbbell joint. He can look down a decent amount. With most dumbbell joints, you get great head pivot. And you know what I realized, man? That this head sculpt reminds me a lot of Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man head from the Amazing Spider-Man movies, especially the Spider-Man 2, the Amazing Spider-Man 2. This figure reminds me a lot of that for some reason. It might just be me, but yeah, this is what it really, really reminds me of. In those movies, he had a real nice round shaped head. And yeah, again, I love this figure. But anyways, he gets great head pivot, as that is very nice. And then he has a seam line down here on the neck, so I thought that was a piece that came off. But no, man, that piece doesn't come off. I tried pulling it off, and it doesn't move or anything, so that is a little bit odd. His arms are in butterfly joints. They shift in just a little bit. Shift out just a little bit and shift in just a tiny bit. No real significant butterfly movement, so not sure why they even included that. So as you can see, it just kind of wiggles. His arms are on ball joints, so they do rotate a full 360, and he can hit a decent T-pose. That sculpt right here on the shoulder does really hinder it a little bit, and you can see I got a little bit of paint chipping right there, so do be careful. He does have upper bicep swivel, double pinless elbows that do bend in a great amount. Look at that. That shit's amazing. All his hands are on vertical hinges or horizontal, whatever you want to call them, but they all do hinge the same way, so they do hinge up and down and rotate a foot 360. He does have an ab crunch, so he can crunch this much forward, this much back. He does have a waist cut, so he can, swivel right there or rotate a full 360 if you would like. Not sure why. No drop down hips, so that is a little bit unfortunate. But he does have upper thigh cut, double jointed knees that can kick his own back, not his ass, but back. No boot cut or anything down here, which does suck. But his feet are on hinges, so he can hinge not much forward. a lot further back, as you can see. And he does have ankle pivot with pegboards at the bottom of his feet. Now getting a quick look at some size comparisons. Here we have Miles Morales next to the 2020 Retro Kart Spider-Man. And as you can see, these two pair up very, very, very nicely. Next to each other on the display, they're going to look absolutely amazing. Here we have him next to the integrated suit from the same wave, the black and gold suit from the same wave as well, and Wetman. And here we have Miles on the rotating base, and this is a really, really, really dope figure for two reasons. He can fit in your Gamerverse display, and he can fit in your 616 display. And yeah, man, this is dope. This figure, see, it's got me messing up in my words, man. This figure is so dope, man. Again, I'm very, very glad to have a definitive Miles in my collection for now. Until we get a really, really classic Miles, this dude is pretty much almost there. A little bit of stylized things like the panel lines and a couple of the red areas should be a little bit different, but it doesn't stray away too much from the classic look. And that's what I really, really love about this figure. As you know, again, I said it can fit into multiple displays, and you can even buy doubles and put them in multiple displays. But for me, he's just going to go straight into my 616 display, as I don't have a Gamerverse display. But overall, man, great figure. Definitely would recommend if you're looking to get a Miles Morales in your collection. And if you missed out on that very, very old Miles Morales from way back in, again, not too what wave was that? I can't remember what wave it was, but it was a while back. But yeah, this dude will fit perfectly into your 616 display. And yeah, man, not much more I can really say about this figure other than it's great, and I can go on and on about that. But let me know in the comments down below if you're looking to buy this figure, and if you're gonna pass on it. I don't know why you would pass on it, but to each their own. And yeah, man, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and yeah, not much more I can really say again. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.